present and see what all is going on in our downtown that really affects all of us. So Miss Jenny Hayes and Shawna Searcy, if you'll jump right on up here.
Hello. Stay back there. Okay. Well, hi, I'm Jenny Hayes with the Kearney Enrichment Council, but we are here today representing the Downtown Revitalization Group's initiative, which is one of the programs of the Kearney Enrichment Council. And Shawna, do you want to introduce yourself? I think that'd be great.
I'm Shawna Searcy. I'm the Executive Director of the Kearney Area Development Council, and I am also the leader of the Economic Development Committee for the Downtown Revitalization Group.
One of these days we'll draw an intricate diagram of all these groups working together, but our fearless leader was not able to make it today, Lee Myers. So you getting, what'd you call us, the backup singers? We're the backup singers, so bear with us. This is also one of the beginning of a process of community engagement that Frank Saraguso here, Dr. Frank, has suggested. We wanted to go out into the community and share these ideas, these concepts of downtown revitalization that have been developed over these last several months. And you're the third or fourth presentation we've done, and we have to warn you the first two were an hour long. So we're getting better. Our goal is 20 minutes? 20 minutes, okay. Ready? Here we go. So this all began in the fall of 2013 when I brought together a group of downtown business owners and talked about what were their needs and what could we do, where could we fill in some of the gaps. And honestly, we went this direction of events, and we got all excited about a lot of different things. And then we invited Scott Middleton to join the meeting, and he told us about the Missouri Main Street program that is a national model. Every state, a lot of states have a version of it. This one's called Missouri Main Street Connection, and it is a 4-point approach to revitalization. This is used throughout the state, throughout the nation, on how do you revitalize downtowns, small towns. And once we did our due diligence, we thought this is the model that we were trying to do this from scratch. We had a roadmap, so we worked with them on what they call a matching grant. We went to the city and asked if we could raise half of the money, and through our businesses and our local community, would they join with us in this initiative to get their consultation, their guidance on how to implement a Missouri Main Street program in Kearney. And it was met with such great success. We had so many interested people, and within just a matter of months, we were able to get that matching grant so that we could apply for this with Missouri Main Street. And that gave us 2 years, about a 2-year process with them, to teach us how to organize around long-term sustainable organization to create downtown revitalization. There was a lot of feedback we got about the fear of the growth around the interstate was going to really harm and make our downtown less relevant. And so that was kind of one of our motivating factors, and there was so much history and culture there that we were learning about that we wanted to protect and preserve. So that process brought us to the Downtown Revitalization Group, and in that process we formed those 4 action teams, the teams that we were taught from the Missouri Main Street program. So in the middle of your desk tables are this little fact sheet that I put together, that Lee put together for us, that summarizes kind of the important elements of the process. And you'll see here, we went through a process, and by this time it was January of this year. We got our 4 action teams formed. Many of you came to those town hall meetings and jumped onto a team. And we met then and created a vision and mission statement. And you'll see that on the handout. And you'll also see in this room several of the team members of the action team. I have to look at my notes here. But what I want to do is share what our vision, what was created from those teams. And then also would like to introduce some of the folks that are in the room, because we've asked them we've planted them around the room and asked them to talk to you individually. After Shawna goes through some of the big concepts, we'd like you to reach out to these team members and ask questions. Ask us, ask them, and we want to know what you think. Our job, our goal through this community engagement process is to meet with every stakeholder group that we can in Kearney, and share with them our ideas, our concepts, get their feedback, and our goal is to get community consensus. And we were going to keep working at it until we get all the ideas that make sense and gather those together. And then when we're done, you won't see the sticky note concept. You will see something that is going to be given to an architect to give us a rendering, something that we can then start building on, putting all those little pieces into action. There's already some of that happening. For example, the farmers market was one of the first public things we did. We kicked it off a month and a half ago. We put some of that information on your table as well. It's been very successful. The vendors and the merchants have been thrilled with it, but it keeps evolving, and we kind of want to keep adding community events to it, like family events, family activities, so to encourage your participation. But what we really want to do is talk to you about this downtown concept. We want to get your feedback and show you some of the big ideas. We put some things on here that maybe seem unachievable, but we won't know until we go through this. We're going to work with intention, we're going to work with focus, and each of us working together in each of our areas to really get it, to get the success rolling. So the vision that was put together through this team was our vision for downtown Kearney is a front porch community with a vibrant, self-supporting economy that is family-friendly, warm, and inviting destination, with an enduring hub of businesses and services sustained by 21st century infrastructure while maintaining its historic character with educational and recreational opportunities for all. You know, it's very broad, and we wanted it that way. We know that there's so many groups working in this community to fulfill this vision. It isn't our vision alone. We realize that all these groups are working toward the same end. So how do we collaborate? How do we work together so that together we're able to accomplish more? And then the mission. The Kearney Downtown Revitalization Group is dedicated to accomplishing its vision through the enrichment, revitalization, and development of Kearney's historic downtown, encouraging the Kearney community to find the courage and confidence to embrace the ideas of growth, prosperity, culture, and a walkable downtown. The walkable downtown resonated everything we did. It was that place that we wanted to come, we wanted to linger, we wanted to bring our family. They call it creative placemaking, and there is some creativity that we want to bring to this. A beautiful place, an aesthetic place that you want to stay, and we want you to want to live there, and we want you to want to shop there, and we want you to want to hang out there. That's what we want to create together. So in the room, if you guys don't mind, and if I missed anyone, please let me know. We should have Dr. Frank at this table. We're gonna make you stand up. I call him the new chiropractor in town. Some people call him Bones. Scott, is Scott Middleton here? I don't know if he made it. Nope. Rue Lovett. Rue's here from our organization. Those are our 4 teams. Organization, also Steve Baldwin's here. These have been a great team we put together. They've been wonderful. The next one is economic development, economic revitalization. Of course, we have Shawna. We have Jason, there's Jason. Tony Holland's here. Hey, Tony. And Paula Barba, I think yep, there she is. Lacey Staub and Cecil Lovett are here from the design action team. There they are. And then from our promotion action team is Jennifer Grossel. There she is. Bob Tate. Everyone knows Bob. Debbie Holt, of course. And then Brenda Simmons is with the Firehouse, our youth program. So they're peppered all over the room. Please, even if you want to get involved, you'll let us know too. And the rest of the information is about the support system we have for this organization. We want to jump into the concept. So Shawna, I'd love you to take over, and I'll jump in if I'm inspired.
I know you guys are super impressed with our visual here, but the reason that it looks like this is very purposeful. As she said, this is maybe our 4th presentation, and these sticky notes are coming from you. So as we continue to present this, as this idea continues to evolve, we are purposefully not putting anything in tight print until this is until we have consensus on the ideas that we're trying to sell here. Just a minor bit of background before I kind of jump in here. My committee, the Economic Revitalization Committee, walked the entire downtown district. We kind of split it up into 5 sections, And just so you know, downtown is not just Washington Street. It goes from Major to the train tracks to Highway 92 over to Prospect. And quite frankly, these borders will likely change. This is a very fluid district as we continue to figure out who needs to fall into this category. Anyway, we walked it, and it was the dream stage, right? We looked for potential. What would be a great fit here if we had all the money, or we own this, or whatever? What could we use this space for? And that's where these two primary concepts and some of these more smaller ideas came out of. These two broad circles that maybe a few of you can see, I'm sure most of you cannot. This first one is right here, and we're calling this the, I guess, entertainment district. This is gonna be where the shops are, you know, maybe a brew pub, a destination type businesses, wine shops, bookstores, coffee shops, just whatever. It's where people wanna go and spend their time, families and adults alike. Where you see the heart, that is of course Lions Park, and we are calling that the heart of the district because we really see that as a place that has some real potential and opportunity to hold festivals. And that's gonna be true for both adults and kids. Perhaps we could have Irish Fest there one weekend, and the next weekend is, you know, some big Spark in the Park type event. So, you know, think broad. And then the smaller circle, I won't spend as much time on here because who I'm presenting to, obviously business folks, but that's where we kind of saw potential for a youth district. That is, for those that don't know, and by the way, I did not know before I walked this district, that's where the old city pool is located. We just thought there's actually quite a bit of open space over there. So whether it becomes, you know, a pool or a splash park, perhaps some sort of youth recreational event center goes there. I mean, you know, I don't want you guys to get married to any of these specific ideas because they're just ideas. This thing will evolve and turn into whatever it becomes. But that's what that second circle indicates. Because we really want this to continue to be, you know, people are moving to Kearney for our schools. They're moving because of the family-friendly atmosphere, and we don't want to lose that. So anyway, that's kind of what that circle is. But again, I really, you know, we kind of really focused on this being something for all involved, and quite frankly, even in the more mall-like or adult-oriented entertainment district, there have been some ideas thrown around about maybe every few hundred feet, something for the kids to climb on, or a little mini splash park or whatever. So again, we are still in nothing but a dream stage. The purpose of this is to be intentional. Lee Meyer, our wise one, very wisely always says, be who you are, start where you are. And so, you know, this is a generational thing. This is something that we might achieve sometime down the road, probably a lifetime from now. But it's about being intentional. So scaling back, for instance, my committee is going to be working on attracting a destination business, whether it's a brew pub or a wine shop or whatever it turns out to be. So, you know, it becomes a lot more realistic and tangible when you think about making it realistic, small, one step at a time. Something I don't think I mentioned, it's a huge piece of the concept, so just real quick. First Street, over here by Lions Park, is what we are at this point calling the Promenade, and because of this kind of adult entertainment type district, kind of like a mall, but more boutique-y, that we have in mind, we'd really like to think about shutting that down to traffic at some point in the future and having it as a place that really is more about events and shopping and our community having a place to come together. So again, start small. Right now we're just thinking this small piece next to Lions Park and only shutting it down as events call for it. But perhaps a lifetime from now when this thing grows into whatever it becomes, perhaps it could eventually be a small piece that's totally closed off to traffic. What have I skipped? There's a lot. Again, please don't be, it's pretty easy when you look at this whole thing to be overwhelmed by it or perhaps even intimidated or scared of some of these ideas. And I don't want anyone to come away feeling this way. These are the ideas that you've come up with, and some of them will pan out, many of them probably won't, and it'll turn into something totally different and exciting. So, but these are the general concepts that we are trying to share with the community and really invite you all to come back to us and tell us what you think and help us build it and grow this thing.
No, I want to talk to you about some of the other things that will work there with scooch in here. So these are more of the concepts that are kind of infrastructure concepts. You know, things like looking for parking solutions. Could we connect to the trails of Jesse James Park? How do we grow the business district on Washington so that it goes from Grove to the tracks? You know, these are the steps, and you have to kind of come up here and see all these little things. But we also have our sticky notes so you can add your own ideas. But the idea that there would be places to live downtown, so downtown living. You know, the city has always contemplated that when these folks are sell their homes, that this would be this is on the north side of Washington. The city has already contemplated that this would be an area for potential development. And so at that time, would it be appropriate to be maybe loft living with businesses below? So the idea is that we're ready for those ideas when the opportunity arises. Pedestrian solutions across Jefferson, you know, and what do we do to attract business too? What do we have to put in place so that businesses think of Kearney as a place for their business, downtown Kearney as a place for their business? So, you know, this is where it's these baby steps. It started with, you know, the idea of the farmers market, and this promenade concept here would mean what kind of improvements could we make in this little area to start this concept, to start today. And you know, that's that piece of it. But our organization group has a lot of work to do. It's about the promotion, it's the website, the Facebook, all those sorts of things, right? The economic development team we talked about. The design team, we're going to see them very soon. I hate to put Jim on the spot here, but we're hoping to see the design team did a fabulous job of doing streetlight banners. And they are in-house, they're going to be ready to be put up soon. So hopefully soon you'll see the work of the design team with the new banners throughout the whole city. The city asked them to do some work on that. Daryl has also been a big piece of getting new flower pots, more flower pots downtown at the intersection of Washington. So there's little things that you can do today. They're working now on wayfinding signage so that we can direct people to this, so that there are things downtown and where downtown is. They're working on a historic palette, so there's a color scheme that would be brought into the district. And what kind of improvements to sidewalks and to little things you could do to make it easier to walk the district. It's an older part of our community, so there are lots of sidewalks that are in disrepair that just don't exist. So creating that walkable downtown is another piece of it. The promotions team, they're working on they worked on the farmers market piece already. The next one we're calling Shop Saturday. Listen, we know we want people to shop every day. We want them to use your business every day, but we have to start somewhere. And we think if we could focus on a Saturday experience and try to create some real energy around Saturday, hopefully that will just build on that and create other energy throughout the rest of the week. And then there's, of course, you can't just shop, you also want to play in Kearney, so then the next piece will be something that talks about what are the things you can do in Kearney, the recreational activities, the tourism. That will be the next project when they finish that. Shop Saturday is going to be focused on the downtown shops, businesses that are open on Saturday, and they'll have featured flyers, there'll be a directory, so it's a very basic piece of collateral, but the business will be able to kind of be featured in it and what's unique about that store or that business. And then kind of a piece of this is also the events. They are looking at what's that next event. We have the farmers market. Firehouse is looking to grow Spark in the Park, but if you have your own idea that you'd like to grow, or you've already been doing something and you want some help to make that event even bigger, we want to be there for you as well. So I know there's lots of detail, and we'd rather, you know, we have a couple minutes, open it up to ideas, questions, and maybe our team could start it off with something. Got anything? Put you on the spot? Speak up. Oh, Marie.
What is your next step? You said your first step with the farmers market. So what do you see there as your next step?
With the farmers market specifically, or?
Yes.
Okay, well, this thing is moving and changing by the day, and we're excited when we see that. We don't want to be stagnant, and we want to also be very nimble so that when we get feedback, we can react to it. So I'm going to tell you what's happened there, and you have to know that every single thing we do is going to be the same pattern. We're going to try what we believe is right, and then as we get feedback, it's going to evolve. And so when we first started the farmers market here, we had an idea that we wanted to close down Washington. But that was a little too aggressive to start with. So what we did instead is we put it in front of City Hall so you had visibility and wrapped it around into the parking lot. But we quickly were seeing some challenges with that. So last week you might have noticed, they tried an idea of putting it just in the parking lot, but we already were too big for that. So I'm a little maybe premature because I have probably have an email still that needs to go out, but as of last night, I got the approvals I needed from the folks on Washington that this weekend we're going to close down Washington at the parking lot all the way to Grove. And it will be two-sided, it will be closed, it'll be safer, it'll be broader, it'll feel like the street festival, the vision we had from the beginning. We're pretty excited. So if some of you own a business on that property, I may have talked to you over the last 3 months. So you'd all kind of given me a tentative yes. There's a couple I didn't get a call back. That's my plan for this afternoon. So if you want to give them a heads up, I'm going to be calling them. But we got the yeses, but I wanted to let them know that it's this weekend. And that's our plan. Now it's going to be from 7 to 11 instead of 7 to noon, and that will be the change we want to try because some of these businesses are opening up at 11:30. But that is our peak time anyway, 7 to 11. So it is going to be the street festival with that vibe of being, we just grow more family and community activities, and we also, of course, need more vendors. So spread the word. We actually got a call last week about wanting to bring back the car show downtown. So I'm putting stuff out there because what you need is opportunity and momentum. And if somebody has a passion for something and they have a volunteer base and they want some help getting it off the ground, we want to be that resource for you. So, does that answer the question? Okay. What else? Yes. Well, we started out this year at no charge. A lot of these markets have been around for 15, 20 years, so we needed to grow together, and so there's no cost this year. And then we'll be reassessing at the end of the season what the fee would be for next year.
So they just need to email the downtown@gmail.com.
Right. And then we'll send them a form, an application, then every Tuesday we meet and review those. But if they fit the mold, really pretty simple, then we can get them in this Saturday. Pretty much food and food-related, items, local.
I was just thinking, Florida Hills Christian Academy, the summer school class where they did a garden.
Oh, yeah.
Kids planted the garden and now they're harvesting the garden.
Perfect.
Doing the farmers market at school. This would be a great outfit.
Absolutely. We have, now that these wonderful business owners have opened their streets to us, so we have room to grow now, so absolutely. Yes.